Hey everybody, come on in. I'm not sure if this is working or running yet. I'm trying to find out. It says I'm live. If you're here, comment and let me know you're here. I'm trying out a new streaming service. It would be new to YouTube. I've used it on Facebook before and I know it works well on Facebook, but I've never tried it on YouTube. And I'm not even sure if it's up right now and that we're actually live. I'm trying to find out. So if we are live, this is a test for the most part. We're going to hang out if it's successful and talk about anything you guys want. So please let me know in the comments what you want to get into. But I'm basically testing this to make sure it works before I spend the money on it. This one is a paid service. I usually use OBS, which is free and works really good. And I'm told if you're really good with technical computer type stuff, that it also works really good, but I'm not. I tend to learn as I go, so it would probably work better for me from what I've researched if I was more technically savvy and maybe I could use this little computer in my pocket to do that, to get more savvy and all that. It looks like we are live. So, but it is glitchy. I don't like it. Um, they just added YouTube. The streaming service that I'm using right now, Be Live. They just added YouTube functionality, and I don't really think that they have it fully ironed out. But comment. If you're here, comment and let me know, and I can finish my test on this service because one of the things that is the plus and a reason to get it is that you can put up comments on the screen. You know, the show can be more interactive. So that makes it kind of worth the money if it works. But so far, it is difficult for the user. I don't know what the experience is like for the viewer. I'm going to have to watch this back and see. But as far as user friendly, it's not going so far, so good so far on my end. But James says so far, so good on y'all's end. Any lagging problems? I know that you have experienced those in the past. I'm trying to get rid of these issues. And I'm thinking that maybe I need to upgrade my streaming service. And I like some of the things that this does. I've used it before. I had it before for like a month and it went really good. It's good for doing interviews, it's good for having people on and having discussions because I can bring people in. I could bring someone into this discussion right now. Anybody that would want to. I could bring you right in and we could talk, but and I can line up more interviews when I go ahead and get it. And there's ways to do that on OBS too, but again, you need to be more technically savvy, which I'm just not. But as far as user friendly, the YouTube isn't very friendly to me so far because I still can't get up the control room on YouTube. But I may not need it because it looks like we're good. It looks like you guys can talk. Hey, Kilo, Merry Christmas. It looks like you guys can talk and are able to say whatever you want, and it doesn't look like there's any lagging for you. But Merry Christmas to you too, James. I hope you all had a great Christmas. I did. I didn't do much for it though. I kind of missed the. I messed up. I didn't think we were participating the way that we were, and but I get lost in my own mind sometimes in the way that I think things are going. And gift giving holidays give me social anxiety to a level that I've just gotten to where I block them out. And, you know, I get that Christmas is a big time for family, but as a Christian, I feel like it's part of the deception, you know, the holiday aspect of it. And I should let that go. I shouldn't let that get in the way, but sometimes that feels weird to me. it makes it odd and awkward. But I've finally been able to load up the dashboard. And I just only reason why I wanna load that up is because I wanna see the stream health. Oh, it won't work. I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm not gonna waste any more time on it, but I didn't wanna get too deep into the my personal feelings on the holiday. I just think it's so commercialized, and it puts you up to some kinda test, and I get panicky anytime I'm shopping for anyone, even myself. It just gives me anxiety to spend money, and I just don't like it. I don't like the forced consumerism, and the pressure. So I checked out of it pretty much. I mean, I get it. I get the it's nice and the holiday gathering and the family and all of that. I get it. It's all very nice, but I don't know. I didn't really do anything for Christmas this year. And I was kinda Kilo says it's definitely commercialized. Crazy, to a crazy level. You know how much of our economy hinges on Christmas shopping? It's it's really maddening, and, like, the Black Friday rush and all the shopping focus, and that's not even what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about, the birth of Christ, but if you look into it, that ain't what it's about. It's a pagan holiday. It was adapted and changed to fit Christianity and to become a Christian holiday, but it's not a Christian holiday. And, most researchers don't even put Jesus's birth at this time of the year. I don't offhand know what it's been chiseled down to, but it's not December 25th. December 25th was a sun worship holiday that they adapted into Christmas. They took many different um, pagan rituals and changed them into holidays. And Hallmark made a card for each one, and they put up an aisle in your stores for each one, and they sell you this commercialized version of, like, with Easter and Christmas and what other holidays would match Christianity. They sell you this commercialized version of Christianity and what Christianity is supposed to be about. And in my family, we always did make it. It was always very Jesus centered and very focused on Christianity, but you're still being deceived. You're still playing into the deception by celebrating that holiday that is a deception. It's a trick. You're actually worshiping Saturnella and Nimrod and other pagan gods when you're doing these different rituals or you're doing things like putting up your Christmas tree. Whether the intent is there or not, I don't know if that's going to matter. That would all come up later in conversations that I'm not privy to. So, and I don't believe that I should judge anybody for doing anything. I just think that we were told not to be deceived and to watch for this deception. And if we play into it, we're we're failing in that mission. No, I James says the Romans screwed the celebration up that Christians wanted. I don't know what it was that Christians wanted in its place, but that was one of the ways that they also got pagans to be more friendly with coming over into being Christians. It was a way to reach like middle ground. It would be the most innocent way you could say that they went about doing this. I think it had much more nefarious reasons behind it and was part of the deceiving of humanity. Just like with making the Sabbath Sunday instead of Saturday, which is the true Sabbath. There's just little changes, little tweaks. Where, like I was saying, even if the intention is still there, I don't know if it's going to matter. You you were deceived. You bought into the deception. Kilo was saying that he was just about to say that. He heard he was born in the summer, but to know, maybe getting it confused. I heard September. I keep wanting to say September. So somewhere in that area, that kind of backs up what I was thinking to say. But I was scared to go out on a limb because I'm not sure exactly, and I don't know that they know. you know? I guess it's up to however you interpret different signs and things. I'm not sure. I really don't. I'd have to look into it more. I'm studying right now Genesis. I'm listening to Chuck Missler, and he's a scientist. He looks at the Bible from a scientific viewpoint and breaks everything down with science and math and all kinds. It's very interesting and it's very complicated. I've been listening to Genesis and I'm like 6 videos in and I haven't even put a dent in it. We're like the first paragraph. He's that in depth. So it's really intense and it's neat to study the Bible in that way. I never looked at the Bible in that way because I never I guess out of convenience there's some things that are hard to rationalize and they almost feel like they don't belong to me. Like for instance, I would say Leviticus feels completely inserted and it just breaks the narrative really if you're looking at it as a book it just feels like this hateful stuff doesn't belong and just but in his research in Misler's research he's taking it quite literally word for word and breaking it all down and I guess that's the way a lot of people view it. I know that anytime I've ever debated religion with atheists they know the Bible front to back and they use it are able to use it against you quite effectively. There's a lot in there, and that, like I was saying, I always rationalized that it didn't belong, that it was manipulated or changed or added. But if you're looking at it from the view that I'm studying it now, it's taking it all quite literal. So, but again, like I don't want to get too literal on the Christmas stuff. I get the family aspect of it. That's all really great. I guess the thing that messed all that up for me was when I grew up, it wasn't about that. You know, it wasn't about anything really. It was about going to mom's house for a couple of weeks. But, you know, that was cool. It was just different, you know. So half the family was real Christian and then the other half not so much. And so I kind of had both sides, and which is good, you know, to get both the exposure to both things. Like half was more think for yourself and they didn't really impose their beliefs or views on you. The other half was very much this is the way it is. And so I got a little bit of both. I think that ended up benefiting. But what do you guys want to talk about? James says Deuteronomy and Job are the oldest books. Now, in Misler's research, he is saying and making it sound as if they are all one book, the Old Testament and the New Testament. Now, as I said, I never really looked into the Bible much before. So this looking into it for me is new anyway. But um, what are the orders of the books? So Job is a book of the Bible I have a lot of problems with. Now, I am Christian, but like there's a lot in the Bible that still bothers me, still gives me pause. And Job is one of those things, you know. And Kilo is saying that people take the Bible too seriously. It was written by people, translated over times. Things might be lost in translation or changed to fit one's narrative. And that's the way I always looked at it. That's the way I always viewed it and still do. You know, that even though I'm listening to Misler's research and he doesn't see it that way, and he's at least presenting it in a way that it makes sense even scientifically when you break it all down literally. And if I finish, his video series is like 500 videos long. So if I finish Misler's research into the Bible, I will come out the other end like 5 years from now. But I'm just going through Genesis right now with him. And then I might find another researcher I like because the next one I want to look at is Revelations. But I've never looked at it, you know, because I had problems with, I don't know about Deuteronomy. It sounds like a book of the Bible that I also had issue with. There's things in the Bible, and atheists use them against me all the time. But I always have to tell them that my belief's not based on the Bible. You know, it's based around it. You know, I do have faith in the Christian religion, that's what I would classify myself as, but it doesn't hinge on it. So if you can use something against me from the Bible, I always think, like Kilo was saying, that it's because it was written by people, written by man, you know, translated many times over history, and in the beginning had to be written and translated and copied by hand. So you ever played that game in school when you say something on one side of the room and you pass on across phrase because there's more. Like it says we're live. Are we back? Hey, Kilo, are you still here? Anybody still here? And it says nobody. But it looks like we're back. The counter's going. I'm going to talk for just a few minutes just to see if we do come back in the replay. But it looks like we totally crashed. Hey, Kilo says we're back. That happened in the Facebook test too. This is the YouTube test of Be Live. I tested it on Facebook and we crashed halfway through the feed as well. So that is an issue. But until then, you have been watching Kilo and James, if you're back, have been watching for a while the feeds that we've been doing on YouTube. And have we had the same issues that we've been having with OBS? Like the freezing and the lagging and all of that. Have things been more consistent with this? Because after this test, I'm going to decide whether or not to buy this. And this one's not free. The other service that I use is free, and this one's 30 bucks a month. So I just want to find out how it works and then watch this back and make sure that it works on both platforms. And that's the other unfortunate thing about Be Live is because it only works to one at a time. You know, James says it's buffering now, but probably his Wi-Fi. Oh, so we are having the same kind of problems that we have with the OBS. That's kind of something I wanted to know because there are other streaming services. This is just one that I'm trying. There's something called Mixstream, I think, and then there's a few others. I got to look them up and try them out because I'm going to try different things to get rid of some of these problems that we've been having with the streams. Because the quality of the streams is going to affect things, and I don't want to leave stuff up that's no good or that doesn't look good in these videos. I want them to have value and last, even if they're just conversations. Like right now, we're just hanging out, chatting. A lot of it's been about Christmas and the Bible, but that's kind of fitting because it's Christmas today. And I've kind of been flirting with bringing back the little Bible show I was flirting with and experimenting with, but I don't know if we're going to do that or not. But it's showing me that no one is here. I wish I could bring up the YouTube control room because that's much more accurate. Because after we froze on Facebook during the Facebook test, it wouldn't show me an accurate readout of who is here. So that could be what's going on right now because it shows 0, but Kilos type says things. So I know that somebody's here. But it won't let me, like I should be able to put my name up on the screen and it's not letting me do that. At least it's not showing it to me. But there's just things I'm testing. So other than that, we can hang out and talk about anything you want. James says it's smooth now. And Kilo says still here, seems to be working okay. Right on. So what do you guys want to talk about? Anything at all? So we can hang out for a little while. I've been flirting with a few different subjects too, because I still need a topic for Wednesday for conspiracy theories and chill. Um, what would you like to see covered on Wednesday? The topic that I'm kind of flirting with now is whether Trump, his entire presidency, ever since he won, has been changed into a con job on the American people. That the establishment powers that be are actually quite happy with Trump and want to stay with Trump and ride this through for another 4 years. The Trump train is working out very well for them, and that all this opposition in the media and all of that is fake, and that when Hillary lost, they put all their ponies in the Trump camp. Then they're willing to run forward in that camp and run everything into the ground through Trump. But James says you see two watching. Right on. Then that's you and Kilo. On my end, it still shows zero, but I'm going to ignore it and keep going. Like I said, YouTube is brand new for Be Live. Uh, I like what I like about Be Live is because you can do this. You can put the comments up on the screen. I think that's neat. Like at one point, I want to get to where we're taking phone calls and doing things like that. But I like that you can put the comments up, and people seem to really enjoy that. Like on Facebook, we get really good interaction. And I don't know if live streaming is something that's done a lot on YouTube anyway, because I don't see a lot of it, but I like it. And it's something I've been doing on Facebook for years, and I've just been trying it on the YouTube channel for about 6 months now. And the biggest video was probably 100 something views. It doesn't seem like live works real good on YouTube, because we're still a baby channel, but with almost 1,000 subscribers, we're almost there, James. We've almost hit it. Like we're only like 30 away. But with almost 1,000 subscribers, you would think that the lives would get better turnout. But, I'm throttled on Facebook too. So I could be being throttled. There's a lot of that as well. Me and James both know that because we've been building this channel for a long time, 3 years to get to the level we're at. And it's been a tough uphill ride pushing forward. But the things I talk about aren't friendly to the establishment narrative, and they're not topics. Anything that we get into on this channel are not topics that are usually friendly to what they want out there. But like Kilo says, the establishment make money on both sides. If Trump wins, that's why they'll try to anything to take down the burn. That's what I'm getting at. They'll do anything to beat us, the people. We're rising up. There's a revolution happening in this country right now. And they're willing to lose to Trump. They're 100% willing to lose to Donald Trump. And I think he's been a con this whole time. This opposition and this fear and this making him a boogeyman and all of this media attention, it doesn't fit right. It doesn't make any sense any other way. I think that he is being used against us, and that there's people that believe that Trump is anti-establishment, that Trump is fighting against the establishment powers that be, and that all this media attacking is because of that. It's all a show. It's fake. They are very content and very happy with Trump. Trump has made a lot of people a lot of money. Anybody that's believing that Trump is anti-establishment, I have to ask you why. I've interviewed a few Q people. These people deeply believe that Trump is fighting the establishment, fighting the deep state, that he is a hero. They deeply believe this, but I've interviewed two so far, and I still don't leave it with any understanding as to why. Like, nothing the man has ever done gives me any reason to believe that there's any kind of hero in him at all. I don't know where you get that. And then look at how they're behaving. They're they're perfectly happy with losing to him. They have a clear front runner. They have a political revolution, a movement happening in this country. It's very exciting. They're giving it no attention because they don't want anybody to know what's going on. They're very happy with the president that they have, both sides, no matter what they are saying on the surface. But like Kilo says, the Mango Mussolini is the establishment. He is. He's pushing right wing policies. Conflict sells ratings. He's just doing what they want. He's a boogeyman. He's perfect. He's a perfect distraction, and that's what they're using him for. So I'm thinking about that as a topic to cover on conspiracy theories and chill. That they are trying to win him a second term. They're very happy with Donald Trump as president. They wanted it to be Hillary, but that didn't work out. But there is an awakening going on, James. You're absolutely right. There is an awakening happening in this country right now. And it's important to do everything we can to spread it, no matter how you feel politically, left or right leaning. Maybe you don't want to be part of this political revolution because you don't support Bernie Sanders. You don't support the things that he believes in. But can't we bicker about that later? Like, we want to take down these people that rule over us, right? We want to get rid of this power structure that lords over us. Who are they really against? Who are they really for? They're really for Donald Trump. There's no such thing as bad publicity. You have to understand, we're talking about a little bit of everything. We're just chatting. This is a Christmas chat. We've talked about Christmas. We've talked about the Bible. Right now, we're talking about Donald Trump. But anything you want, so let me know. So this is just a live chat, like a live show. I'd been doing this style of show anyway on Facebook for a while, and I'm trying it with my YouTube channel, my YouTube audience, seeing if it'll take on and catch on over here. We just talk about truth. Right now, we're talking about what I should cover on the next episode of Conspiracy Theories and Chill. And I am exploring this topic that Donald Trump is a plant. He was a plan B from the beginning. I don't think they wanted him to be the president. They wanted Hillary, but the American people rejected her. No matter how hard they tried to push her down our throats, they rejected her. And with them rigging the primary, they alienated half of their base, and Donald Trump became president. And ever since then, I think they've been making the best of that situation and using him as their tool. Nothing's changing for them, you know? He's not bringing them down. I didn't know about this. Putin's cutting the internet? That's interesting. I've been streaming to a Russian site, VK, and I was thinking they were more friendly to the truth for some reason. It seemed that way anyway, with the content I was seeing on VK. But Putin's cutting the internet entirely or in sections because they already take it out. Like if there's protests or uprisings, they'll knock out the internet. That's one of the ways they shut us down. And it will be used against us in that way. They want us depending on it as a communication tool because then they can pull it and take it away. And that would be why he's pulling it, I would imagine. Because there is an awakening happening, and it's happening because of the internet, because of this access to knowledge. People are informing themselves, and that would be something that he would want to shut down. So that could be it. And maybe it's with the rise of their social media because VK was getting very popular. That's why a lot of American streamers were jumping on and using it. But let me know what you guys want to get into. And do you think that's an interesting topic to get into on conspiracy theories and chill? That it's a manipulation tool on both sides. They're manipulating the right and they're manipulating the left. And they're using him to do the whole thing. That's what I think. That's really what I think is happening with the Trump administration. I think he's being used right now against us. And it's just all fake. But like Kilo's saying, it is too late. The awakening is happening. The momentum is there. This is coming to an end, um, because it has to. This is the time to make this change. This is the time to take this all down and to rebuild it. But and we're doing it. It's happening. And they're terrified. The establishment and the powers that be are terrified of what they see going on. We do a little show every day called the Daily Burn, and um, I don't know if there'll be one today. Because, like I said, that's why we're trying out a new streaming service. Because I'm tired of making you guys watch glitchy streams that just aren't working very well. And I've been trying everything I can with OBS, and it's just I don't know. I've read that I could get more out of it if I was more technically savvy, but we're gonna try Be Live, maybe. I'm gonna see about going forward with Be Live. If I watch this back and it works good. The Facebook test worked good, but yeah, it's too late to stop us now, Kilo. It is. I really believe that. And I'm not saying that as an optimistic person. I'm not optimistic. I'm pessimistic to my core. I'm always negative. Ask anybody, ask Babels. I'm always very negative. It's because it's happening. This is the way that change takes place, the way that change has always taken place, and it's taking place. So to ignore that would be naive. It's taking place right now. There's even massive change on the right. It's just they don't agree with us and they're being misled. And Trump is being very beneficial in misleading them. Yeah, James says it great. Trump is a puppet. I've seen no evidence that he's anything but a puppet of the establishment. He's done nothing against their agenda. People point to stuff like increases in the job market. Well, that was trending up already. And we're talking about low paying jobs. You know, who is the largest employers in this country? It's McDonald's and Walmart, right? So everybody has a lot of really good jobs and they can't afford anything. How is that going to sustain a capitalist society? And you don't think we need to make changes towards democratic socialism, towards a society more of justice and compassion instead of greed and endless war. You can't have everything. These greedy bastards want everything. They can't. They can't have it all. It's not it's sustainable. So this change is happening because of that. It's happening because you can only push people against the wall for so long before they fight back. And Kilo says this awakening isn't just us. People are all over the world are fighting back, all over the world. There's literally in probably 7, 8 countries uprisings happening right now. They're being suppressed and not being given any media attention, but they're happening. It's happening everywhere. This greed, we're spoiled, you know, and we're left out of a lot of things. We're the only country in this on this planet in our economic status that doesn't guarantee healthcare to our people, that doesn't give higher education, that doesn't do a lot of these things, and we're still very spoiled. We we don't realize how bad things are to the fullest extent. There's a lot of countries that realize it a lot more than we do, and they're being pushed even harder, and they're rising up as well. There's an awakening happening all over the world, and you're a part of it. You're involved in it, and it's because of class warfare. You're absolutely right. These elite predators, and there's not very many of them, this handful of people are lording over us and sucking the planet dry and sucking all our resources dry. We can't let it continue. We can't let it go on. So we have to do everything we can to stop it. And the good news is it's coming to an end. They see that. And that's why they're trying so hard to confuse everyone and get them to vote against their own best interests and to silence this revolution, to silence what's happening. We just have to make sure they're not successful in that. That's our job. So that's what the effort is of every little show that we do. It's always just to drop a little truth and be entertaining at the same time. So that's what we're doing. and we're just having a little chat and hanging out. But this is the kind of stuff we talk about. And that's what this channel is about. So if you like this kind of stuff, you like these kind of videos, subscribe to the channel and you can be a part of following these shows. We're developing new shows. When I get the streaming service down, when I get a marriage with a good streaming service, the shows will get a little better because I've got some in the hatch. I just don't want to do them when they're all glitchy, you know. And then I like the interaction. I like being able to talk to you guys and share in the experience with you and interact. So I like the live aspect. So that's why I'm looking for a good, reliable streaming service to use for that. And this I like because you can do cool things like put up the comments, and I think that's neat. But there are downsides to it. So let me know what you think. And for like Kilo and James, you guys have been in a lot of feeds recently. Is it better? Does it work better than the OBS? Because you got to imagine when I pay for it, we won't be running this constant commercial over here for Be Live. That'll be gone. That's just because it's free right now. So if that's been distracting throughout the entire feed, that's only there because I haven't paid for it yet. But I didn't want to pay for it until I knew that it worked. And that's what this test has been for. And I just wanted to hang out with you guys on Christmas a little bit and talk. I like doing the live streaming. So if you enjoy it, let me know and we'll keep doing them on YouTube because I've been doing them on Facebook for a long time. You know, it's something that uh, I've grown quite an audience on Facebook. It's popular on Facebook. It's more common over there. But I think they can thrive on YouTube. And I think I've seen a few people be successful with doing live chat type streams on YouTube. I think it can happen. So, you know, we'll keep swinging along at it if you're into it. Yeah, Kilo, except for the crash. Yeah, and like I said, that happened during the Facebook test too. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with Be Live right now. That's two crashes in a row, but I'm on the free service. So it looked like they crashed me at about 30 minutes each time. And that could be because they're like, well, you're not going to get to do hour-long feeds for free, but maybe that's it. I don't know. But I'm not going to pull out money if my free service tests keep failing. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a very good business practice if they're throttling me on purpose. But this is what this has been as a test to see if this will work. And what do you guys think about that as the topic for Wednesday, the Donald Trump thing? Or should it be something more conspiratorial? You know, it is conspiracy theories and chill. And the recent topics that we've done were the Battle of Los Angeles, which was really fascinating, the story of Ong's hat, which was also really interesting. And then I just redid the Titanic swap conspiracy, and I wasn't totally happy. I'm never going to be happy with it. I'll probably do it a third time, but it's going well. People are seeming to like it. So, you know, I just realized I had to go ahead and move forward with it because I was being too picky. I love that topic. The Titanic swap conspiracy is an interesting one to me. So that's the newest video on the channel if you want to check that out. But that's about how they more than likely swapped the Titanic in the Olympic, and that the ship at the bottom of the ocean is more than likely the Olympic and not the Titanic. The Titanic went on as the Olympic for another 25 years. It's one of my favorite conspiracies, and we just recovered it on Conspiracy Theories and Chill. But let me know what you guys want to see on upcoming episodes. Any conspiracies at all? Because Ong's hat and Battle of LA, those were both recommendations, and they both turned out to be very interesting. Ong's hat was very new to me. I had never heard of Ong's hat before. So that one was interesting to me. And another one that someone turned me on to, but I don't know how to explore it because there's not much on it, is there's a secret chamber in Mount Rushmore. That was interesting to me, you know, and there is interesting theories on what is for and what's in there. Um, but I'm not finding a lot of information. I've been digging, but I want to find a little more before I actually get into that one. James said he had another glitch, but it's been smooth. So it's been a lot smoother than OBS. Because even though OBS gives me the ability to do cooler things, like I can put cooler stuff on screen, which maybe I can do with this once I explore and learn more of it. But OBS lets me make cooler sets and cooler things to look at, but it glitches so bad. So I just feel like that makes it unwatchable. The audio usually stays good, but there's so many problems. Titanic says that, or Kilo says that he liked the Titanic one. A lot of information out there. Titanic is a good topic, and there's a lot of other areas to explore with Titanic. I've always been fascinated with the Titanic sinking, the Titanic disaster, and the story of the Titanic. Um, it's fascinating from a lot of different angles, not just from the swapping the ships. I just think that's one of the most fascinating parts of the story. But the sinking of it, there's all kinds of angles to go with that, and avenues and areas you could explore. Because, like I say in the beginning of the Titanic video, you leave the story with more questions than answers. There's a lot wrong with that story, and there's a lot of twists and turns. So it's very interesting, and one I could definitely come back to. But we do a new one. We try to do a new subject every week on Conspiracy Theories and Chill, where we just go into a topic and explore it and then talk a little about that and any conspiracies that you guys want. It's another live show, and that's what I like to do. And I'm trying them out on YouTube. We're trying to grow over on YouTube and get it all out there and get it going and get it built up and get a following and an audience over here, because the important part, and luckily we've had two really great commenters here today, is comments. Because without the comments, it gets weird because it's interactive. So it ends up just being me begging people to talk. But luckily today we've had great comments and everything's went really good. And I should have enough because I want to watch this back and then make my decision, because I have my Facebook test and now I'll have a YouTube test, and I'll be able to decide whether or not I want to go ahead with Be Live, because I also might try out a couple different services and see if they work, if they have a free trial, because the rest of the services I can try, they're all pay services. But I don't know that they let me do, things where I can put up the comments or things like that. But I'm gonna watch this back. Thanks for hanging out with me, James and Kilo, and anybody else that happened to be here and maybe was, you know, just shy and didn't want to comment. But thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching and sharing and subscribing if you did. And thanks for helping me out with this little test, guys, and helping me see if this works. But I'm gonna watch it back and make my decision, and we're gonna pick a better streaming service for the streams moving forward. Or I'm going to learn how to use OBS better and get more out of that. I'm going to fix it. I thank you for fighting through it, fighting through the technical difficulties. Both of you guys, the ones that have been commenting today, are warriors with that, and you've stuck with me. I really appreciate it, and we are going to improve and get better. So if you're digging it already, it's just going to get better. And thank you for helping us grow and everything that you've done for us moving. I always talk like I got a mouse in my pocket, but moving forward, I know you're going to be there with me. So thanks a lot, and Merry Christmas to everybody. We'll see you on the next feed.